pictures are on Yelp. Pull up all these pictures and you're like, oh, that's the dessert you're eating? All right, Michelle. That's the candle? Okay, that's the same candle. I know where you're at. 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes to an hour. Wait, can you run that long? No offense.
That's how I got married, dog. You know, first date, bro.
Was that what you did?
Yeah, my first date with her.
I look at.
I think a guy's more comfortable being alone than a girl, but I mean that's a whole nother
You think so? Welcome to the Men Don't Know podcast. I'm the man of many friends, your host and creator, Chris Boone. And here on the podcast, we talk with a bunch of guys. We ask a bunch of women questions over wine and cocktails. Now, whether you're listening to it on Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Pandora, YouTube, Audio Boy, you downloaded that Men Don't Know podcast app. I cannot thank y'all enough. Merch store is open as always, but hit me up on Instagram at Men Don't Know, Twitter at Men Don't Know 1. Shoot me an email, Chris at mendontknow.com, or hop on the mendontknow.com website and shoot me a message. Coy, my guy.
What's up?
Not much, man. How we living?
All right.
Question of the day stems from the Ask Becky the situationship with Becky, and then it was give Becky some advice. A lot of women hit me back and wanted to ask, what is the best and easiest way, and how should they leave a toxic and traumatic and a trauma bonding relationship? So I figured I would call some friends up. We would ask them what would be the bestest way, and how can they do that fast? I think a lot of people get into these relationships, and I think the idea is they don't know how to leave because as time goes on and time permit, they get sucked in too far into the relationship quick.
Yep.
And it's just like you look at them, it's like, damn, why don't you leave? Why don't you leave? And they're like, oh, well, you know. I guess when we're gonna ask and talk to people that have dealt with people in relationships that have narcissistic and toxic behavior, and you're wondering why they don't leave, what would be the best solution for them to leave? You know, and I always tell people, I guess leaving is the hard part because now you're all alone. But I'm like, damn. You know, and I always think about this, and someone else said this, like, you want to know one thing that's never failed you? The gym. The gym has never failed anybody. I guarantee you, if you put as much effort into the gym as you did in that shitty relationship, that motherfucker will give you results that you'll be happy with. Results that you'll be happy with.
And I guess it's easier for us from outside to say,
100%.
Why don't you just do it? It's so easy. No. But I've never been in a toxic relationship, or I've never been the toxic one in a relationship. So 100%. I don't know about that. It's kind of like when you hear those stories of people that get kidnapped for a long time. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you just leave? Because sometimes they have that weird loyalty or bond to their captor.
So that's why I was like, you know what? Let's call some women and a guy and kind of figure this out. Let me get, let's get the nicest person in the world on first, because that's what everybody calls her.
Hey.
Hey, what up?
Nothing.
I'm here with Coy. Coy, say what's up, Nina.
Hey, Nina.
Hey, Coy.
You know what? I guess I got to just leave it. It's just going to be what it is, Coy. It's just going to be what it is.
Greetings, Coy. Is that what you wanted to say?
Right.
All right, Nina. Question of the day. You're a great person to ask. I feel like everybody is like, you got to call Nina. I don't know why. I feel like you're like, everybody values your opinion and your advice, so that's why I'm calling you. Nina, the question is, and a subscriber asked, and I feel like after we did the situationship with Becky, a lot of women have been in trauma bonding relationships and toxic relationships.
Right.
They want to know, how do you leave that relationship faster, like sooner than later?
Rip the Band-Aid?
Yeah, how do you rip the Band-Aid off? I mean, I will say you were with someone narcissistic. I can say that, right?
I was with like 3 narcissistic psychopaths.
I didn't want to put your business out there, but you went ahead and did it, so that's okay. Nina, I guess the easiest thing to say is you were in it, you stayed longer, and I mean, I guess you stayed longer, but the relationships began to get shorter and shorter.
Right.
My question to you is, how do you leave that relationship sooner than later?
I feel as though, hindsight 2020.
Yeah, 100%.
And because I've lived it, and if I were to go back again and do it all over, there's these gut instincts that you just need to listen to. Like, if I had listened, I would have gotten out like the first psychopath. When I broke up with him initially, I would have stayed broken up. And then the second one, it was just like, I should have stayed broken up with him, but it's really just knowing your worth, because I knew my worth. Right. They just were really good manipulators. They were very good with their words. And because I am, and there is such thing as being too kind, I am too kind. They used my kindness for weakness. And and I saw it. I did see it, but it was like, oh, well, they would do better for the moment and then get relaxed. So it's really staying gone. For me, it should have been staying gone. It should have been like, okay, we are done. I'm blocking you. Don't hit me up. We are finito.
Not leaving the door
open. Yeah. I guess the problem is, and what it sounds like is, you kept leaving the door open.
I kept leaving the door open. And, I think for me, I've also learned if relationship me and business me came together, I would have left them. Like, we probably wouldn't even have been together more than like 90 days.
Why is that? You know what? And I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the manipulators, the narcissistic guys, and the toxic men,
the guru of gaslighting.
The
all guru comes in the same package.
The guru of gaslighting. I feel like they seek out independent, successful women.
Yeah, they do.
Why?
Because this is how I see it.
Please.
Because I am everything in a way that they aspire to be. Because
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because I think what I know, not even I think, what I know is that they always try to interfere with my business, and I was like, fuck you, bye. No, I never listened. So that would get them irritated. I never listened, and because it just didn't make sense. They weren't speaking logic. And so you would think that side of my brain would come to my personal life and be like, goodbye, but it didn't. But I'm everything that they aspire to be and more, but they're not. They're still exactly where I left them, and that's where they're going to remain.
Isn't that crazy?
I wouldn't say it's crazy. It's expected.
Now go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, don't they not just go for the successful ones, but go for the easy targets too? The girls that are weak and, fall for that kind of stuff?
Not necessarily. No, I don't. They don't always do that. I think they go for someone in which they want to kind of chisel down and take you off of that pedestal. Because I did hear that, like, oh, you think you're the shit, whatnot. And but I still thought it. I don't even know. A lot of times I was like, when I think about it, I'm just like, they had a title that they never deserved. Because I was still living life.
Yeah.
I was still living life. It was just that I had a person in which I called a boyfriend.
Right.
Who didn't act like it. But I was still living life. I never stopped living. And that's the difference, is that if I could do it over again, I just wouldn't have claimed him as a boyfriend. I would still...
Go ahead. Sorry.
I would still be jet setting, having friends like I do now, and enjoy life. Yeah. You have to put you first. You have to prioritize yourself, even with children.
Let's They always say the reason why they don't leave is because they feel like they're nothing, or you would feel like you were nothing without them, I guess. What is the hard about, I guess, and one person said it's like they don't talk about the detox from the person you left and having to, I guess, quote unquote, you need to detox from the toxic relationship. But it's so hard because you're alone. So let me ask you this: as you were detoxing,
no, it was great. I didn't see it like that. That's why for me it was great. But I just kept on getting an elevated version of the craziness. So it wasn't that I didn't detox because I was out. I mean, people want to leave. You can't worry about being alone. I truly enjoyed my time. I really did. And I learned a lot, but I also took myself out on dates. It was fun, just being there. I'm a people watcher, but I also am a people person. So yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I enjoyed it.
No, go ahead. What do you tell that girl that's alone, has few friends, wants to leave the relationship, but afraid that they're going to be alone? And it's like, this is better than nothing.
Yeah, that's sad.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah.
Just for anyone to feel like that, you're really not alone, because believe it or not, your friends are waiting to meet you. You just have to get out.
Man.
You just can't accept being in something bad over being alone. You just can't.
Right.
You can never accept that.
Can't accept that.
No. You can't, and you shouldn't. Because if you feel as though, they're my only friend. No, they aren't.
No, you just weren't allowed to meet anybody new because they were there.
Correct. But when you go outside, Google should be everyone's best friend, because there's always some type of meetup at Starbucks or meetup at a club, or even do speed dating, not even really to speed date, because you end up meeting some cool people who are doing the same thing you are. Yeah. So why not meet them in a really good environment, a fun environment? That's how you meet friends. That's how you meet people. And stop thinking. But the problem is that people have an exaggerated sense of importance, as in if I go there by myself, they're going to be like, oh, I'm a loner, or no one's thinking that. No, only you. Yeah. No one's thinking that.
Just don't be one of those weird solo people.
No. I guess, all right, last question, Nina. Give me 3 things a person should do in order to keep their mind off of being alone and out of that relationship and sulking and feeling sad.
Number 1, they should exercise. So,
I tell everybody the gym never failed anybody, and if you put as much energy into the gym as you did the relationship, the gym will give you results. The gym will never lie to you. The gym will never lie. It will never lie to you. That motherfucker knows how much work you put in, and it will show you.
Exactly. So go to the gym. Mm-hmm. I would say that's top priority. Go to the gym, because it really helps clear your mind, and it helps build your confidence. So go to the gym. The second, I started just really getting listening to various books and podcasts.
Go ahead.
I just did a deep dive, and there's so much information out there.
Yep.
And I belong to all these book clubs, and then that's also how I have other friends, is because you start just talking about a book. And that was because, I listened from the podcast. They were suggesting books. I went, and then I just let me see if there's a book club. Googled book club. And then I would say the third one is you really have to forgive yourself.
Ooh, go ahead now.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead now.
Yeah. Yeah, because, a lot of people haven't done anything detrimental to feel like they can't do better.
100%.
And I think it's the person. I don't know what it is, but sometimes we just feel like we don't deserve. Mm-hmm. We really do. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't deserve something. And if they do, they can kick fucking rocks. Kick rocks. Because like I tell people, I would rather rent a room than to be with someone who tears me down or isn't bringing me up.
Oh, yeah. All right, Nina, I appreciate you. We're going to let you go. All right. Am I seeing you this weekend?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Thanks, Nina.
Right.
Okay.
Later.
Bye.
Damn. She was spitting. Oh, let's where we at? Let me get my guy on here. Let me get my guy on here real quick.
You think it's easier for a girl to leave a toxic guy or a guy to leave a toxic guy?
It's both bad.
Yeah.
My guy. B, I'm glad to hear from you, my boy. You sound good, man. You sound good. Man, I'm here for a great talk with you. I'm here with Coy. Coy, say what's up to B.
What's up, B? What's going on?
I feel like this is going to be a long conversation.
I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm gonna give you about 8 minutes, but I mean, right. I'll bring in the noise as time as we need to wrap you up. But let me ask you this: a lot of women want to know how do you leave a toxic and trauma bonding relationship? Like knowing you're with a narcissist and a gaslighter and a person that feels like it's never their fault. Like, how do you leave that?
How do you leave it?
Yeah, how do you leave that relationship? Everybody say, "Oh, it's easier said than done." It's hard to leave a relationship once you have time invested. It is.
It is. It all comes down to the time that you invested, because it's. For us men, we rely on return on our investment. That's our biggest thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we put time in, we want something back from it. So the more time we put in, the more we want back from it.
Yeah.
So if we don't get it, and that's why we stick it out, because we want to keep sticking it out to see until we get something back. If we don't get back, that's when, you feel like you lost so much from it. You feel like you wasted your time, and it's just more heartbreaking for the man than it is for the woman, I feel. Depending on the situation. Depending on the situation, of course.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, have you ever been with a gaslighter?
No.
Have you ever seen it in action?
I've probably seen it on social media and stuff like that. How like I've seen one where a man is telling you cheated on me, and then the girl was like, it was just one time,
just one.
You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like she's trying to justify that it's
never
okay
have
what
time
she did.
for me. No.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was your fault because you went around. That's what divorces like women that step out on their men that work hard, right? They go, and they're the housewife, and the housewife steps out on them because they don't get that time from the man because they're so busy providing and protecting for the family. Yeah. How is that fair to the man, right? But then you step out on him, and then and you gaslight him because it was your fault. You weren't around. I was like, bitch, I'm fucking trying to get this fucking family together. Keep it going. Yep. I'm the protector. I'm the provider. I'm trying to make things better for everybody. So how is it right for you to just step out just because it's your duty as a woman to, take care of the man in those needs? Like, you shouldn't be stepping out. You shouldn't be stepping out on the man and going looking somewhere else. You should be working on trying to see where you can get him, right? Like if he's had such a hard schedule, make time for him. Like that's your job if you're a housewife, right? Like that's what I've seen. And so to me, I think you should be more focused on as a woman to whenever he gets home to take care of him because he's out there fucking taking on the world while you're sitting here and taking care of the kids, which is understandable that it is a job in itself.
100%.
However, you're not out there busting your ass like he is. Yeah. He's providing this whole house for you. He's providing you, a roof over your head. So the least you can do is when he gets home, have a cooked meal or, give him peace. Fuck him. Simple as that. That's all guys need. Look, all guys want is to feed us, fuck us, and leave us alone. That's pretty much it.
We are very simple creatures. Now let me ask you this. No one ever talks about the hard part after the breakup. The hard part after leaving the tumultuous relationship, the hard part after leaving a relationship that did you no justice, and you get to that situation where you feel alone and you feel like less than yourself, less than your best, less than yourself. Mm-hmm. Give me 3 things you would tell anybody to do after a breakup where they feel like I have nobody, I'm alone. Like no one ever talks about. Now, you know how they say no one ever talks about after the breakup and how the person feels, especially after a toxic breakup.
Right.
What would be? Yeah, go ahead. What would the things?
I think to me, looking back at it, I would say embrace the loneliness, embrace the depression.
Okay, why?
Yeah,
I want to know. Yeah,
because the thing is, when you embrace those moments, it magnifies on what you're going to get out of it at the end.
Okay.
So to me, like I look at it like I think that since my last relationship, this is the longest I've ever gone without being with a woman, and it's been almost 6 years.
Okay.
Right. So I haven't been in a relationship for 6 years, so that means, but there's times, obviously, like there's a lot of self-reflection, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think about a lot of my relationships in the past. What have I learned from it? Like, it wasn't more like, oh yeah, this girl was this girl was that. No, it was more like going more into details. Like, what happened there?
Yeah.
Like, why did it happen there? You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a lot of self-reflection when you get into that mode and just reflecting on your life and why these things happen and why it's happening, why it happened again, or so you get to find out what the bottom line of why everything didn't work out, right? So I will give an example of my relationship with my ex, my last ex.
Yeah.
So to me, for a long time I called her I called our relationship very toxic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she is a very I don't like calling females alpha, because I don't think females are alpha. I think they have masculine traits.
Okay.
Which is very possible, right?
Okay.
I think male are considered more alpha than females. I don't like that word being put on female.
Okay.
But what I see for me is that I called her toxic. I called her she's crazy, she's etc.
Yep.
But what I didn't think about was like, why did she act the way she did, right? So I went back to myself. So like, thing is, as a man, we are supposed to be provider and protectors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're providing and protecting, it allows the woman to take that pressure off them and let them be in their feminine energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I victimized myself because of her. So I thought I was not at wrong, and that I thought she was always at wrong, right? But when you self-reflect, you think about it, it's like, had I taken care of the household, had I been the provider, had I been the man of the house, had I taken the lead, and not let her be the lead, it would have allowed her to be in her feminine energy and be the woman that she's supposed to be.
Okay.
See, men don't understand that sometimes. Men think that like it's always the female's fault. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually take a reflection on yourself and see why it all went down the way it went down, so at least for me, that's how it went down. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say it's going to happen to to all men. But if you're always going to victimize yourself, like if you're saying the breakup was because of her, or this fight happened because of her, because she was crazy, etc. But you're only talking about her. But what about you? There's 2 people in the relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Why weren't you the leader?
Yeah.
Is it because you were broke? Possibly. Is it because you didn't work your way up to being the man of the house? Getting the bread like you're supposed to. Getting into a relationship when you're not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to think about that, because it's not fair to the woman in many ways, because you're just blaming it all on her, because she could be crazy, but have you ever thought about it? She couldn't have been if you were to handle your business on your end. She could have been like that motherly person or the wife type material that you want her to be, because if you took care of your business. Now the problem is like when sometimes women have these masculine traits, because they have to take the masculine traits, because they feel like that the man isn't taking care of the shit that they want them to take care of. So they have to step in and do their part as well. So now the woman becomes more of a man than the man himself.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just not. you see what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, no, I do.
So I look back at my relationship, and that's one of the things that stuck out to me. It's like, I can't I'm going to do it on my own terms. However, I told myself that I want to write a letter to her just to be like, look, I'm sorry that, how everything turned out, because it wasn't your fault. Like, you're a good woman. I just think I lacked a lot of abilities and traits that you needed from me and that moment.
Right.
And that's it's not fair to you, and that's not on you.
Yeah.
You were a good woman. I think the fact that she took over some of the traits that a man should be, a man is the provider and the protector. She took over some of that responsibility. Wasn't fair on her, because now she's taking on being the mother, taking care of the family, taking care of the bread, like bringing in the money and all that. That's a lot for her, right? But sometimes I think like we just take one side of the story, and then we roll with that, and then we tell our friends about it. Like, she was crazy, blah blah blah. Like,
and then they pour it on to, she sounds crazy.
Exactly. They pour it on to you.
Yeah.
But that's because you're not doing any self-reflection. You're doing in the moment after the relationship just ended. So everybody's trying to boost your ego and say, hey, it's not your fault, man. You can do better without her, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, to me, I look at it in a completely different aspect now, because to me, I saw, like, if I thought about who she was as a person, the person you fell in love with, that's the person you're supposed to, put her on a high pedestal, right?
Yeah.
But in order for you to put her in that high pedestal, you have to be a man. You can't be a fucking boy and then try to put a woman in a high pedestal, because, like, you can't provide for that woman being a boy. It's just not happening. And I honestly can say that to myself now. I was a boy in that relationship. I wasn't a man. Right. So I'm at fault for that. Now, is there part there where she was crazy? For sure. Like, which woman isn't, right? They have their crazy traits, but that doesn't mean that they're bad women. They just in a bad situation.
Yep.
It could be because of you.
Some of that crazy is justified sometimes.
100%. But men don't like to take the responsibility on about it, because of their ego or whatever the case, or they just want to say, oh, it's all on her. She's the fucking asshole. Right. She was a bitch, blah, 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 this. It's like, nah, bro, you fell in love with her. So how can you call her a bitch? Or how can you call her crazy or whatever? Because it was your fault if that's the case, because you made a choice to be with her. Just as much as women make choices to be with men and sleeping with different men all the time. That's the choice that they make. It's not that because that's all the men they have left in the world. No, you made a wrong choice. You didn't take your time to get to know a man, so that's why now you're dealing with all the bullshit down the road. Yep. That's because you didn't take your time. A lot of people don't take their time. You got to take your time. And so, coming back to your question, I would say, to me, I think self-reflection is the most important thing after you're getting out of a relationship. Don't jump into other relationships right after. Yep. It's one of my biggest things. I think take your time at least. Now, I know in your podcast, you think a few podcasts back, you said that 30 to 90 days, I think is a good time for to get over a woman. I disagree with that. I think it depends on the relationship too. But if you have a relationship, if you're in a relationship for over a year, I would suggest that you take a entire full year to reflect on yourself. And I'm not saying to reflect on the sense of like what you did wrong, what you did right, and etc. But more in the sense of how could you be better going forward, and don't jump right into it, because you got out of a relationship. You need time to self-heal in order for you to give the best version of yourself to the next one.
I like it.
Right? Without that, because if you're not ready to give that, if you haven't been healed and you're not ready to give up that to the next woman, what's the point? Like, why? Like, you're not ready then. Like, you need to heal first. You need to heal from the relationship, but you need to take your time. Like, people don't take their time. They just think that this is why young kids nowadays, like, they go from one relationship to the other, to the other, to the other, and they get so damaged, and all of a sudden they don't want to be in a relationship. This is why, like, I feel like a lot of their now culture, like, Gen Z culture, whatever you want to call it, less and less you see people getting married. Right? Because it's a hookup culture now, right?
100%.
They just hook up, and then there's no sustenance in the relationship anymore. Nobody's really working at each other. They just like, oh, you know what? You fucking cheated on me. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you move on to the next one. All right, fuck you. Keep going forward. Like, it's just bad. It's just bad situation. This is why you see more and more kids are not getting married there. They don't care to because the hookup culture is so much easier now, right? So why even get into a relationship nowadays?
No, I agree with you. We're going to let you go, my guy.
My bad to take your time.
You good, man. I mean,
I got a lot to say.
100% all the time, man. And I appreciate you, my boy. I'll hit you up later.
All right, brother.
All right,
later, Corey.
Man, that's crazy. I agree with a lot of things he said. I think a lot of times we don't take time to self-reflect. I agree with my sister, the gym and doing your own thing and building your own self-awareness.
And that's big of him too, because we've seen
seen the
go
growth
at
through
it
him.
back then.
100%. Me and him would go back and forth. Yeah, 100%.
To say that
100%.
That's good.
100%. All right, man. Let's get up out of here. First of all, I want to thank everybody for listening. Whether you listen to it on Google Play, Radio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Pandora, YouTube, Audible, or you downloaded that Men Don't Know podcast app, I can't thank y'all enough. Merch store is open as always. But hit me up on Instagram at Men Don't Know, Twitter at Men Don't Know 1. Shoot me an email, Chris@mendontknow.com, or hop on the mendontknow.com website and shoot me a message. Corey, my guy, we are out.
How many pictures are on Yelp? Pull up all these pictures and you're like, oh, that's the dessert you're eating? All right, Michelle. That's the candle? Okay, that's the same candle. I know where that.
45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes to an hour. Wait, can you run that long? No offense.
That's how I got married, dog. You know, first date, bro.
Was that what you did?
Yeah, my first date with him.
And look at
I think a guy's more comfortable being alone than a girl, but I mean, that's a whole nother
thing. So?
I think